see if he does a hit when he comes around. Yep, he made a hit. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So let me switch this. There you have it, 2020 Dodge Challenger Hellcat. Brought it out here in the sun so you can see the color and everything. And today we're gonna talk about real quick, you know, what was I looking for after I sold my cars. Real quick, what did I drive and check out, maybe with some pictures and stuff. I'm not gonna bore you with some video and none of that stuff, but and then I'm just gonna say why a Hellcat, and then we're gonna close the video out with the day that I got the car. I want to show you what happened before I bought it, and then right after I bought it, kind of Marty called me up and he met with me, and you know, they kind of recorded the whole moment, so I think it was pretty cool. You know, car peeps being car peeps when you meet each other after buying a car and all the talk you do. So I'm just gonna put that video raw up so you guys can see it. So let's hop in the car, we'll go POV, and we'll talk about it. Alright, so just so you can hear a little bit of whine. So what was I looking for? I was looking for anything 2-door, 4-door, something to replace both Mustangs, you know. And I've been looking for a while, since I sold my car back in July, and I knew I was already going to get rid of the red car at some point. So 2-door versus 4 doors, 2-seater versus 4 or 5-seater, whatever, you know. Me having a family, I kind of already had in my mind, you know, let me kind of lean more towards the 4-seater, you know, 2-door or 4-door. And I was looking for something with power, you know, in between the red car and the blue car. So somewhere around the 500s. Problem there is, anything 4-door within upper 500s, it's pretty expensive. You know, BMW, Mercedes, and all that. And the other option being the Challenger Hellcat. So anyways, at some point my wife said, you know, get the Corvette, 2-seater, holds value, and let's try that for a while. That way you can enjoy it with your son, or I can go with you, and I can do car stuff. You know, it's still what I really wanted. It was, you know, low and wide and a nice kind of supercar look. But moving on to what I test drove based on that, because I still hadn't decided which way you go, you know. You can ask Marty. Anyways, so I test drove a bunch of cars. I went and looked at a bunch of cars. I looked at a bunch of cars first, and then Marty's like, go drive, go drive, go drive. But I was kind of waiting to get rid of the red car and all this other stuff, and you know, so I can move forward and see what car I really wanted, to see if I would wait longer to save more money. Anyways, Labor weekend came around, and I finally set off Friday, and I went driving and looking at cars, you know. And I started with the Z01 because it was my #1 car on the list. Even though I was already told no kids fit in the back, I still went and drove it. It was a black Z01. It was really nice. I didn't want black, I wanted another color, but I still wanted to drive it. And then again, kids don't fit in the back. Other than that, I love the car. And visibility, you know, but still, it's race car feels, you know, sport car, so visibility I'm okay with. And moving on from that, I didn't drive any BMWs, but I went and looked at it. I looked at an M2 comp, I looked at an M3, I looked at an M4, and I looked at the 240, you know. And based on horsepower, room, how they looked, and price, it wasn't what I wanted. I drove a C63 Mercedes, a C63S, a coupe. That was awesome car, it looked really good. It sounded okay. Mercedes, I would have to end up buying used a couple years. The warranty's not good on it. Yes, you can buy extra warranty, but I didn't want to go through any of that stuff, especially on an expensive ass car like that. And I looked at a whole bunch of other brands and different cars online, but nothing like really zoned in more than the Z01, the Charger, the Challenger, you know, Hellcat, maybe Scat Pack. And I was leaning towards that Mercedes C63, but when I looked at the price and the maintenance and all this other stuff, I was kind of like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. So I drove this car in Scat Pack, and it was white outside, red interior, which is kind of what I wanted for like a vet. So it was pretty cool. I drove it. It was okay. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't like what I'm looking for. I guess it is, because the car is pretty nice. It's impressive, but it's heavy. And remember, I'm coming from the blue car, you know, 700 horsepower light car. And then the red car in itself with the 10-speed base model, it's just, it moves, you know. So a Scat Pack moves, but still it's on the heavy side, and it's kind of not what I was looking for, you know, let's be honest. And then I set out to drive a Charger Scat Pack. I couldn't get a dealership that would let me drive one. The one that let me drove the Challenger without looking at anything, my license or nothing, they didn't have one. And when I went to this other one, they wouldn't let me drive one unless I qualified for the car. And I was like, come on, man, really? And he's like, well, yeah, we don't let nobody drive the Hellcat, and then if you want to drive the Scat Pack, like, you have to qualify for it. I was like, I'm not going through that stuff, whatever. And then I went down to Tampa and I drove a Hellcat Charger with the black key.
¿Qué?
Talento.
Talento el carro. ¿Te salen a rentar?
It was used. So 4-door used. I think it was like 2017, 18. And that didn't even feel good either. It might have been on ballet mode or something, because it felt even slower than the Challenger Scat Pack that I drove. And then after that, I went to the dealership where I set up an appointment in the morning to see this car, and I got there late in the afternoon just because I still wanted to check other cars just to make sure, you know. And I get to that dealership, I see this car, and then they have this car, wide body and a Scat Pack, and the guy's like, you want to drive it? I was like, yeah, I want to drive it, you know. I want to make sure that I make the right decision, you know. If I end up really liking it because there's a wide body and different suspension and it still moved good, I would have gone with that car, save some money. But I went and drive it, and it was kind of more of the same, you know. I was like, I don't know, you know. And then he's like, you want to drive this car? And I'm like, yep. I get in this car, he hands me over the red key, I make a right off the dealership, and right there and then with just a little bit of throttle, I'm kind of sold, you know. It's pretty simple. It kind of had that in the back of my head, you know. Felt the horsepower real way, like just a little bit. But anyways, so yeah, I ended up buying this car, you know, and that's it. What I was looking for, what I test drove, and then why this car. I mean,
hey man, son, goddamn.
why this car, like, as soon as I got on it, I felt it, and I love the sound, I love the whine, I like the space. And you know, this is a base model Hellcat, but the only thing base about it is these cloth seats, and they look really good. They're super comfortable, and they're even heated. They're not vented. I wish they were vented, but they're not. They're heated. But that's the only thing that looks base on this car. But I mean, if we get to it, like, just listening to this, like, just listening to that whine and feeling the power, you know, just a little bit of throttle. Like, you don't even have to go full throttle. Like, if I go full throttle on the Scat that I drove, it's kind of like, it's just I guess I'm spoiled, you know. It's driving the blue car, I'm just spoiled. It is what it is, you know. You can't do anything about it. Oh, one more thing. So the one thing that happened before I bought the car is I went to eat with my wife and my daughter, and we got some ice cream and stuff, and we came back because we got to a price, we got pretty close, but it's not what I wanted. So I was like, let me go eat and get some ice cream because my daughter's been awesome, and I'll come back. And I left, and when I came back, we stopped at a gas station just in front of the dealership, and when I pull in, let me show you the video. So this is the car I'm about to buy, and I went for food and came back, and somebody drove it to come here to the gas station. So I'm gonna follow him back and see how he drives the car that I'm about to buy and see how it goes. So that's the car I'm about to buy, and they're not supposed to pass it. They're not supposed to go past 4,000 RPMs, and he just hit it. He just made a hit. And I want to see if he does a hit when he comes around. Yep, he made a hit. So yeah, when we pull in, this car was there, you know, and I'm like, why is this car there when it had fuel? It was full, so you don't have to take it out for fuel, maybe to wash it, but man, whatever. Anyway, so we watched the guy, and you saw it. He takes off, turns around, and takes off again. And I'm kind of pissed, you know, because I'm like, man, I'm trying to buy that car, and even though I know all the dealerships do it to all their cars, not while I'm trying to buy the freaking car, you know. If I'm trying to buy the car and I said I'll come back, you at least hold the keys until I get back, you know, give me the benefit of the doubt. And but no, you know, he just kind of left the keys. Somebody else grabbed it. It wasn't even the salesman that I was dealing with. Somebody else grabbed it and just whatever. If he went to wash it, or they didn't say any of that, you know. Just the salesman said, he was trying just to make videos of somebody that's trying to buy it online or something like that, whatever, you know. But anyways, that did two things. One, it helped me listen to the car and see it in action, and I was like, oh yeah, I really want that car, you know. And two, it was like a negotiation tool, you know. Once I got in there, and they brought the finance manager, and we couldn't agree on a price, and I kind of told him, I was like, look man, I've been all weekend looking at cars, you know. I was here all afternoon talking to your guy, and then I left to get food because I want to make the right decision, you know, with a full stomach, not hungry because I want to get out of here. And then I come back and I see this and this, and I have a video on it. And I talked to him for a while, and then he brought down the price to where I want it, just under where I want it, and that was it. That was the deal. So yeah, that's about it. And it's funny because I had just talked to Marty not too long ago and said, you know, I'm done. I'm not doing anything else today. I'll come back for another day. And then the next thing he knows is I'm sending him a picture of the red key. And you know, right away, being car peeps, he's like, I want to see the car. You know, I want to see the car. Where do I have to meet you? I know you're far, but I'll meet you somewhere, and then I want to look at the car. I was like, okay. So there's a couple things coming for this car. You know, we got springs coming, we got mid muffler delete. We're going on a trip to Tennessee. I want to wrap the hood black, and then we're just gonna have fun with it. So stay tuned. And what really sold the car, believe it or not, but still, it's a good point. You know, when we talked about space, being able to have the kids, even though it's a two-seater, but when you're out cruising in the Mustang, and we just wanted to buy some quick food and just keep driving around, eat our food, and enjoy it, there's no cup holders in the back. But this car, you open the middle right here, check it out, boom, oh yeah, cup holders in a coupe, muscle car. Doesn't get any better than that.